One of the common things that I come across with people that are trying to recover, so I sort of look at what are the sort of more universal elements. I mean, the thing about addiction is it's not really appropriate, it's not accurate to say, oh, addicts do this, addicts do that. Because there's a huge amount of personality and diversity in the addicted population, right? I mean, these people are not the same at all. But one of the things you want to understand is what are the characteristics that you see that do seem to cross those boundaries, because you can say, okay, those things you definitely want to get to. And I've talked about in another piece around people pleasing, which I see, something like 75% of people over accommodate and people please, and they don't have healthy boundaries, they don't know how to assert themselves to create a sense of self in their lives. The other thing I see, and it's related to people pleasing in some ways, is issues around control. Human beings in general, addicts in particular, or people suffering from addiction in particular, tend to be control freaks. And there are lots of ways that manifests. Somebody who's a control freak isn't necessarily an overt control freak. Like if I look at myself and I say, what are the ways that I defended against the world and attempted to predict and control outcomes so that I could feel safe? I was never overtly controlling. As you can imagine, I did it with words and rationale, right? I mean, if you hear me speak, my biggest defense mechanism, the way to keep people away from me, was to understand what was happening around me, try to be predictive, and to use language as a barrier. I could hypnotize people with my speech, right? So that was one of the ways that I maintained control. It's why for me, it took me a long time to figure out how to do individual therapy, talk therapy, because I'm good with words. And so I can talk and talk and talk and talk, and I'm not necessarily, once I had worked on a lot of the shame, I could even talk about the issues, but it wasn't having a transformative impact, the talk therapy. Group therapy was really good for me. Group therapy, I had so many eyes on me that I couldn't control each person because I got somebody looking at me over here and this, and it was too much. And so it made me more vulnerable, which is what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to let go of control.